Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, okay, we got 39-ish minutes. Cool. Anyway, separation of church and state does not exist. So, and I do believe, like, a lot of the teachings, nobody really knows who wrote the Bible, once again. It's all kind of like a conglomerate of, like, stories taken from so many different regions and times, you know? So it's not really, like, anyway. So it's not, like, set in stone, if anything, but if you've never read the Bible, I do recommend it. It's a good storybook. It's lots full of good parables that absolutely can be used in real life situations, you know? But I think because of the whitewashing of these teachings, they've really used it to control people with fear, you know. And I don't know if I said this in the previous one, but I do talk about Monsters Inc. a lot. I refer to it a lot, as kiddish as it sounds, but I think it's such a great example of spiritualism at play within the world. Where like they want to make you in fear, they want to put you in fear to utilize that energy, because that's what's going to give them workers. You think you have to work super hard, do all these things to, you know, make money, and that just gives them the money to do these things and keeps the cycle going. You got to break out of that cycle and start doing things out of joy, out of happy, out of love, you know. And that's why, like, to me, I think when I was going through eviction 2 years ago, but I don't know if I'm like forgetting what I said in the other one, so forgive me if this is repetitive. But I was pregnant, going through eviction, couldn't even walk. I was barely able to crawl across to the bathroom. Going through an abusive situationship kind of thing. Someone stole my motorcycle. My car had been like fucked up because someone tried stealing my cat. Like, it was just not good. And so at that point, like, things just were completely, obviously opposite of this. And I really do think, I think my grandma helped me get out of that situation. And once again, I don't think, like, the religious teachings teach that, you know? And to me, I knew my path was not meant to be this. So what can I do? So I would sit there, like, in my mind, literally what I thought was, like, you know, the internal work that I'm doing is actually a lot harder work that I'm willing to do that most people don't do. And that's why they get stuck in those 9 to 5s kind of thing. And that's not anything bad. Like, I like the 9 to 5, but when it serves me, like, what I want to own a restaurant, right? So obviously I'll be working. But nonetheless, I need a creative outlet and somewhere I can just be me. So I have to kind of just own my own business in that sense. So, you know, I really took that time to sit with myself and figure out what limiting beliefs, what things were going on internally that were preventing me from getting this. Because I wanted a restaurant. I was really sick again, and I was sick of being sick. It gets so tiring when you have a chronic illness. It gets so annoying. Being hopeful and then it just dies, you know, it's constant. So I was just so tired of it, and I really had to just sit down and figure out, like, I am the root to this. What is going on? So once again, once I did that, then things started getting better. My health is better than it has been in 9 years. And finances are slowly getting better. My platforms are getting better. And I've said this before, like, I think this is the direction that I'm supposed to take. So I think this will help blast my YouTube off. And then I'll continue to work on my TikTok and stuff, because I love TikTok. And then I do photo shoots. So for a bit, and then streaming. So for a bit, things were like kind of chaotic, but now that I've done the YouTube and kind of put it in place, it feels like things are kind of smoothing out a bit. But nonetheless, anyway, back to the business. But, you know, I give credit to whatever is up there, the ultimate God, source, whatever you want to call it, flying spaghetti monster, Yoda, I don't fucking know. I just know there's something bigger at play. And once you really do start manifesting, for me, I manifest a lot. So once you do, it actually brings you closer to God, ultimate source, whatever you want to call it, even more. Because you start recognizing that the universe wants what you want. Whatever you want, the universe is like, hell yeah. Actually, let me give it to you more, you know? But there tends to be times when we have limiting beliefs that will sabotage getting that, or will sabotage the path to that, you know? And I've come to learn that these religious views from the patriarchal sense, Christian sense, kind of damage this aspect of, you know, you can do whatever you want and you can get whatever you want, and even down to like manipulation of energy, manipulation of, you know, these things to favor you. And like Jeff Bezos is not going to go to hell for exploiting people, no. But what I do think, I was starting this previously, what I do think for death, what happens is I think that we experience each other's perspective that we ran into. Like every person that I ran into, that I impacted, I experience their version of me through their eyes. And because I have an omnipotent perspective at that point, I understand to the fullest extent what my impact was on them. So if it was good, then obviously even better, you know. But if it was someone like Hitler or Jeff Bezos, where you're impacting so many lives negatively, you're going to have to experience that energy in death. I don't know why, that's just how I believe it. So that in itself is a personal hell, right? And it's not meant to punish you, it's meant to bring your awareness up, so that when you do repeat yourself on this planet, if you choose to do so, because it is your choice, then you will choose a different body, choose a different form, choose a different path, so that you don't repeat this path. A lot of people will, for instance, like maybe someone, like maybe I was an awful, maybe I don't want to say I was Hitler in the past, that's terrible. Nope, sorry. But maybe I was an awful person in the past. I never know, you know, you never know. But I do think that some people choose just really hard lives because they want to clear out all family trauma, all personal trauma, all at once. So in my mind, and this could just be my way of coping, but they do say this in a God sense. They say God gives you, you know, nothing more than you can handle, what you were meant to handle. And some people, believe it or not, were meant to take their own life, even down to that. Like, that's part of God's plan, if you want to put it that way. Even down to abortion and things like that. I hate to say that because I feel like people are going to be like, oh no. It's part of the catalyst of the energy that happens with it. And the ultimate God, whoever, they know. They know, like, can an event. They can't interfere the way we think they can, because it's all about our free will. But when we get closer to source, we have more respect, because we see anything can happen for us. And we don't have to abuse, use, manipulate whatever people to get what we want. Some people don't break out of that. But that's what I want my, at least, channel to teach, is that you don't have to manipulate people. You don't have to sell janky courses online to con people. You know, you don't have to do that shit to get the good things you want. You just gotta really believe it. But especially in the Christian sense, first off, I don't so much love the Christian church because, A, you know, they take the indigenous beliefs really and twist it and demonize it, you know. And I talked about this before, like, even in the sense of grief, like, if we were to learn that it was okay to talk to our loved ones beyond in the dead, and that it's possible and they can guide us, you know. And I believe there's symbolism in movies, you know. They were teaching this in Mulan. Even African teachings teach this. Like, they've all known. It's just that American teachings have whitewashed for power and control, and to demonize those things, so you can't connect to your higher sense and heal that lineage, because healing the lineage is not going to bring what the head people want right now, right? So, and that's where I say, like, POC lineage, they could have done what white people have done to them, but tenfold. But they decided not to. Much like women, because, like, the oppressed, you know. And I just gotta say, like, I don't want to say they're the underdogs. I will always say this, though. Like, I'm always for the underdogs. It's literally on my leg. I have a quote on my leg that says, "Viva the underdogs." Because I have always been the underdog. And I realize that people are underdogs just because of their skin color, just because of their differences. And I feel like the sooner we learn to just accept people, embrace the differences, and learn how to relate to each other in the differences, is when we're going to be able to level up. And I think, you know, POC people, I think, really have a large advantage. And I think, I said this before, truth be told, and I do think the ancient communities and indigenous had more advanced technology than we did. Even if that doesn't look like flying cars, they knew how to operate frequencies and manipulate frequencies. Why the heck would they need flying cars? You know, I had a friend where I said that to. He's not my friend anymore, but he's like, no, um, what did he say? Because it really offended me. I was like, the fuck? He's like, before we brought guns, they didn't even have guns. They wouldn't have known how to do any of that, blah, 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 or something. And, like, he pretty much insinuated that their knowledge wouldn't have advanced in this way because we never arrived. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Anyway, so I think, you know, and this is, I don't mean it to be, this is as a collective. Of course, you can always say that there's the exception to what I'm talking about, okay? Because not every POC person is spiritual and some of them are Christian. Like, this is just kind of what I believe, okay? There's exceptions to everything. There's probably a lot of holes you can poke in what I'm saying, but this is just what I believe. Because, like I said with the yin yang, to take it literal, I believe that because, like, with dark always comes to light. If you want to give their skin tone, given the Mormon teachings that I said before, you know, they said that people were cursed with dark skin, and that's not the way. That was God's sign. That was God's symbol that his prophecy will be coming true, and that means that POC people are the children of God. We all are children of God, but they are the children who are supposed to be here to raise the consciousness of this planet. They're the sun children. If you know anything about chlorophyll and like plants, I believe there's like some chemistry, like kind of thing, like the, you know, the way it's connected, that resembles melanin or something. Like it's the same thing as melanin. So to me, I just contribute, like, POC people are sun children, which is like, not that white people or anything are any less children of God. That's not what that means. Both energies are so important for the vibrational rays of the planet. But at a certain point, the ego got too much, and people thought because of the difference in skin tone, it meant one was better than the other. And that's not true. It's not true. There's strengths to each one. And there's obviously cons to each one, right? But I would say that's just the human race as a complete. But nonetheless, when you think of like history and how anybody of POC have been suppressed, if you correlate that to the yin yang, like the dark symbol of the yin yang, then, and like I said, this is a literal sense. Autistic shit, I take it literal, but I feel like there's sense in it because of that. So if this is offensive, I do apologize, but this is just how I see it, because I've just really learned about energy a lot. So, and this is literally, if God exists, this is literally what he put together. Darkness without light kind of thing. Like, there's no light without dark. Like, it all is together. Like, it correlates together. And it's meant to harmonize together and reach like an ultimate heightened state when we learn to work together. Because if you learn, like with Nikola Tesla, a lot of his stuff, like the electricity and stuff, is like magnetically propelled. So when you think about how you can catapult the opposite energy, and if we really were to work together and celebrate our differences and work together, we would actually raise the consciousness of our planet even more. Because if you noticed, a lot more valedictorians and things like that, young children going into college and early on and changing the ways of the planet, are, at least I'm noticing, more POC. And I think because we're allowing them to be celebrated in the same space now, they are showing what they're truly capable of, which is so much. And we've known that. There is just some jealousy going on racially, so there is suppression going on. And once we are okay with who we are as whatever we are, race, gender, whatever, then we start learning to celebrate the differences and commingle instead of like bumping heads, you know? And that's where I think, like, even down to gender, like a black woman is probably God, because that is the most suppressed of gender. While the hierarchy in like the normal world looks like white man, POC man, white woman, POC woman. So the POC woman is like the most oppressed. And if you put it in that, there is a lot of learning in that suffering, a lot of growth. And these POC women do it so freaking beautifully once again, because they do it with elegance, they do it with poise, they do it with class. Because once again, like with the given generational trauma that communities have put to POC communities, they could be doing a lot worse to us now. But they're choosing to celebrate who they are and focus on their growth as a community, and you know, and I fucking love that. But I really do think that, you know, once we start doing that, then things will become just more fluid and more cohesive and happy together. We would have less wars and stuff like that, you know, which sounds crazy. I could go into that, but I'm running out of space, so I can't right now. But that's kind of just the gist that I believe. And once again, I'll when we get into August, I'll start doing more podcasts on Twitch, and I'll put them on YouTube. So come August, you'll see what I mean visualize. I have some videos in mind and pictures that I know I want to show y'all to kind of get the analogies across even more. Because that's where like karma comes into play. You don't have to believe in it as karma. It's just a propulsion of energy, you know. And people who are really good at transmuting don't believe in karma because it doesn't exist to them. The negative energy would never be negative. It would just be coming in as a positive to them because they've learned to transmute. That's kind of what my life is now. Like, there's never really a negative situation in my life. I've always just kind of transmuted stuff. So I do believe in karma in a sense, but do I think it'll happen to me? No, because my intentions are pure. I would like to say all the time. I can't remember the last time that they weren't. Maybe when I stole something in high school from Dillard's. But, I mean, I told the truth. I was just like, yeah, I was trying to steal it. My bad. Forgot for a second that wasn't allowed. My friend over here made it look so cool. Anyway, but you live and you learn, right? And that's all it is. Like, we were brought here to learn. That's really what I believe. And if we just had less shame with the learning, then we would evolve as well a lot better. And unfortunately, because of religious systems, a lot of abuse is ingrained in those systems, and it stays within families, and people build shame around that and don't talk about that. And that's kind of what my channel's about, because like I have learned to have no shame about what I talk about, because I feel like more people should talk about it so that they can heal through it. And I feel like if you see someone having no shame about what they're talking about, and that will help you heal. That will help you get to the point of healing where you don't have to feel ashamed for the parts that you feel are unlovable. You know, I will always say, like, we will always make mistakes. That doesn't make you a bad person. You're literally put here to make mistakes. Okay, put that in your mind. That doesn't mean go out of your way to make mistakes, but you're supposed to learn from them, to do better for yourself. And it doesn't have to be about other people. You doing better for yourself indirectly impacts other people, just energy-wise. So that's why it's really important that you tend to your own garden. You make sure you're consuming good media, make sure you're watching things that contribute to uplifting thoughts kind of thing, uplifting music, because that negative energy is really, really impactful. And the CIA and the government, they all know this. They've been working on learning how to manipulate masses with this kind of stuff for years, centuries probably. And they know religion is a great way to do it, and they're driving it because of fear. Fear will make you believe anything. Fear will make you buy so much toilet paper for no fucking reason. So that's where, like, for me, I just had to surrender. I really was obsessed with magic and manifesting, and I knew there was a way to it, but how? Why? And I've learned that it's about doing the work, and you have to manifest it because it's subconsciously ingraining in you. And no matter how much you want it, mistakes will happen and things will throw you off the path, but those are meant to redirect your path and hone down what you're trying to do. You know, like for the longest time I could say, oh, I failed, I didn't get a restaurant. But everything that I've learned up until now has been so beneficial to me owning a restaurant, even down to social media marketing. So you have to learn that, like, these things that are put in your path, they're meant to contribute to whatever you want in the future, whoever you want to be in the future. And you'll see down the line, because you deciding that is actually you reconnecting with who you are and remembering who you are, at least in my belief. And we'll go into more of like how to connect with that and like how to find your happiness, because I know some people don't even know what makes them happy anymore. I got you. I will help you with that as best as I can anyway. But that's kind of my belief system. I don't, like I said, I don't denounce God. I don't, you know, I believe if anything, God would be a POC or African queen. And truth be told, I believe in ritualistic practices, especially as a woman. I think we are the only creatures who can be doing blood rituals without offering a sacrifice. And women are so magical, and I think POC women especially are extra magical and should be celebrated even more, because they have the secrets of the land kind of thing, and yeah, I just think it's really interesting stuff to kind of connect. So I don't really know. That's just kind of how I've connected and formed things in my mind. But all I care about really, and all I've ever cared about, is just being a good human and leaving this earth better than when I found it. So, like I said, I just want to do like humanitarian type practices, which is what I'm just dedicated to at this point. My spiritual, just so I can help people get what they deserve and connect with their self and resolve inner trauma and really reach their full potential and be happy and wake up every day excited, because I used to freaking want to die so bad. I've tried so many times, not so many, but a couple, but nonetheless, at a certain point you're just like, fuck it, I better do something good with my life. And I've always wanted to own a restaurant, I always wanted to do these things, so might as well, and the more I go after it, the more I see it's possible, and I know why it's possible. It's because it's what I really want. And it's not just because it's meant to do good by people. It's just because I really want it. And that means if you really want something, you deserve it. You got to start believing you deserve it. God believes you deserve it. Universe, ultimate, whatever you want to correlate it to. It's in your favor. You just got to show up as if it is in your favor. Right? Like, I always say the universe is like your mirror, the ultimate whatever. That energy is like a mirror. So if you want to be wealthy, you got to show up as best as you can in that wealthy state of mind. Peace in here probably would be the first thing you would work on, because when you're wealthy, you're not stressed about bills, right? You're just walking around like, oof, whatever, things are good. And then you dress differently, you do things differently, right? Or if it looks like being healthy, once again, you feel different, you do things different, you think different, etc. So I think sometimes, the detachment from God is meant to be a path for some people, and I wish Christians would be less judgmental on that and would stop saying like, oh, I'll pray for you, blah blah. Like, first off, pray for yourself. You sound like the one who needs help. Okay. Anyway, but still, like, people, that's why I can never judge people, because you could call it coming back to God, whatever you want. I've made mistakes. It's all meant to be learning from. And that person who made that mistake, they'll learn from it. I'm not going to fault them for their mistake because I've made mistakes. They just look different than that person's. So, not my business to judge them, because further down the line, they could be doing way better than I could ever dream of doing, because they've gotten through their mistakes and learned to figure out in here. And I'm telling you right now, I'm running out of time, but we'll do more on meditation and manifestation and stuff. But it's all about your internal world, okay? It's been so nice the last few years, because I've really taken the time to just, make sure that my inner world is calm. There's a lot of people who will try to disrupt your inner world because they're not happy with their world. And that's where, like, my cutoff game is so strong. Like, I don't care. I really don't. If you're going to disrupt my peace, you've already shown a lack of respect, And I don't have people around like that. So you're going to have to watch me from, like, a secret account. But nonetheless, I have worked really hard on figuring out what are my toxic traits. Like, why am I doing the things I'm doing? I just want this, and this in life. Why am I not getting it? And I realize it's because, like, first off, like, one of the biggest things, like, I want to be really wealthy. I've always known I'm going to be really wealthy. And I remember for a time I was like, why is this happening? Like, I'm supposed to be wealthy. Like, why is this happening? You know? And I realized because I was a big people pleaser, and if you're a people pleaser, I do a lot of segments on this stuff too. So I will be happy to help y'all out of that phase because it's difficult. I get it. But I was a big people pleaser, and like everything that I got that was good, I wanted to give to other people. But it would really stem from a fact that I didn't think I deserved it. Like, I felt ashamed if someone saw me with it. Like, I wouldn't feel like I deserved it, you know? And I had to stop doing that and had to start understanding that, no, I deserve this stuff because I deserve to be healthy, in a good place, being happy, not worrying about bills and stuff like that. And in that state of mind, I can actually take care of my community, my friends, my family much better with that state of mind. So I really would love to help people get to that, because people pleasing really put me into the state of feeling sorry for myself, victim mindset, like, woe is me, why is everybody mean to me? Still, people are fucking mean to me, but fuck them. There's a lot of people who have problems, insecurities, jealousy, and they don't know how to deal with them. So, and especially when you're this gorgeous, anyway, sorry, it triggers people though. I trigger a lot of people just because they don't like my eyebrows, because they don't like my belief system, whatever. I tend to trigger white men a lot. But hey, if that Pearl chick can say the shit she says, I can say this shit. Because I think bringing up the oppressed is the right thing to do for this planet, because it's to balance out energies. And those energies have been sitting like so much time in the hypothetical dark that they have an upper hand on a lot of people who haven't. Much like, I'll say that with autism, ADHD, any kind of trauma. You know, you sat in a state that most people don't sit in, and you've learned things that most people don't have the opportunity, is weird to put it. They don't have the opportunity to learn those, and that makes you almost a superhuman in a sense, because you now have like even though, okay, your mind has a survival route that like you're always like aware, but that can also be looked at as a plus side. You know, it can be exhausting, you got to find a balance, but if you keep that within you, you're always going to be aware and always be ready to help people, and that can be a good thing, you know. So just kind of like that, like transmuting is what I really correlate that to. But I really do think that you know, whatever it is, God, spirit, spaghetti monster, it really does want you to have whatever you want, and it doesn't require you sacrificing your comfort, your health, and stuff. And that's the whole preaching of religious or the patriarchy Christian shit, because they need a workforce, they need a working system, they need a working class. And if you find out you can just sit on your ass and manifest money, then what happens to the working class? I'm here to tell you that you should, because why not? I had an illness for so long, and I remember being in church and like getting blessings from the priesthood. They'd anoint me with some oil and pray over me, and it never worked. But me manifesting, me praying, me doing the work has worked. And if that's the biggest answer to a prayer, I don't know what is. My health returning back to me, and me getting out of the situations I've gotten out of. That's where I could never denounce God. I could never denounce whatever that ultimate source is. I could never say there's not that. It's there. Because magical things happen. Literally magical things happen. I was trying to look for a person today, and I was like, if I'm meant to find this person, the universe is just going to steer me right to them. And literally, like, fucking right there, that person was there. Magical as fuck, dude. You just have to be really, if you want to be like that, committed to being divinely guided by source, God, whatever it is. And that means sitting down and really understanding your intuition. When you do something that feels like intuitional, you have to learn whether or not that's right or wrong. And I'll go into this more with like manifesting and stuff like that, because I had to start that way too. Like, some I thought were intuitional thoughts and they really weren't, you know. So I had to really learn how to decipher which ones were and which ones weren't. But nonetheless, it's really sad that spiritualism and Christianity can't commingle, because they both have such strengths. But to be honest with you, I pull from the Christian faith. I just don't consider myself Christian, because obviously I believe in multiple gods. I don't think Christianity is about multiple gods. And I believe in witchcraft and ritual practices and spiritual, you know, stuff like that. So, although you could call a lot of the things that Christians do ritualism, you know, I don't think it would be considered that. I just consider it spiritualism. but I don't discredit there being an ultimate source, like I say. And I think it's really important to work with it if you want what you want in life. And just knowing that you're being built for the life that you want, you know. And a lot of people are like, oh, I want to just like make money doing nothing. That is possible. That is so freaking possible. With today's day and age and internet, that is so possible. I'm happy to teach you how for free. You just gotta like follow my shenanigans, okay? I don't want to do courses. That's way too much. I got stuff in my link tree you can follow, but all this stuff, I just want people to know this stuff so that they can help themselves. If you have any questions about this stuff, happy to answer them to my best ability. I don't know everything. I'm just trying to teach what I know. But I really do think that the sooner we celebrate our differences, as corny as it sounds, the sooner we will really raise things up on this planet. And in the literal sense, it starts with that the skin tone thing. You know, so once we start celebrating those differences and then gender differences instead of pitting each other against each other, I'll get into my whole spiel about gender shit and everything like that, so you guys will love that if you hate this. I'm being sarcastic, but anyway, I know this is very controversial, and I really try to step lightly because this one guy, and it's stuck with me because I don't really know what virtual signaling is. I guess this is. But I don't understand the bad thing with virtual signaling. If this is like, I think it's important to teach people these things because everything is whitewashed. I'm literally 29 just learning about this. This is literally shit that probably POC folks just know, and now I see the problem, right? Everything's whitewashed, and then we open our mouths and they're just in like, the fuck did you just say? I get it now, you know. Much like it's just it's part of the frontal lobe shit, I think. But yeah, I that's kind of my belief system. Don't think for a second that I don't think God exists. I just don't center my life around it because I'd rather center my life around being a good person and trying to raise up the energy of people, helping people and stuff like that. And if I focus on that, then I'm fine. And truthfully, I don't really like human connection too much. I have like my few friends. I hang out with my dogs. I need to. I need that kind of good energy and nothing to inhibit it around. So that's just kind of my beliefs. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll go more into these beliefs. I gotta figure out what the heck's up with my phone. There's no space on it. But I'm gonna upload these. So thank you for listening. I appreciate y'all. We'll do more talks like this. I took a day off yesterday just to kind of, take a day off, get my brain all situated. But thank you so much, everyone who's been subbing to my Patreon and stuff. I haven't been too busy with it the last month because A, it's been my birthday month, but B, also my hip has been like a little much in pain again. So kind of like backtracking, but kind of getting back on track again. So it's hard to take pictures and stuff when my health is like not pristine. So I hope tomorrow's Monday. I hope tomorrow I feel even better. I feel kind of good today. So I hope tomorrow I feel even better. But you should be seeing new stuff on Patreon this week. Same with my OF. And you can always donate if you want. I have merch, but I need to find a new merch supplier. So we'll be getting that rolling again this year. And yeah, I just thank you guys for watching my video. Thanks for being respectful and kind. I know these are kind of wackadoodle beliefs, but hey, it gives you something interesting to listen to, right? But yeah, everything's gonna be connected, so you'll hear me bring this up a lot, and that's why I really wanted to lay this as like kind of like my foundation kind of thing, so you guys know. If you don't like these kind of beliefs, you might not like my channel, but you don't have to like these or believe these to be on my channel. I want to remind you that it's okay to be different than other people. It's okay to hear other people's perspective without getting offended. Things like that. I encourage that on my channel because I think that's a good way to grow. So that's why I say, if you have different beliefs, feel free to drop it in the comments. I love just seeing people's different beliefs in that. Like, I love just like imagining people's lives when they get home from like driving on the street. I'm like, I wonder what it's like when they get home. I love anthropology, psychology. I keep saying this, so I want you guys to really understand, like, I love that shit. You can never offend me with it. As long as you're not like attacking me for my beliefs, I love it. Share all your beliefs. I would be happy to discuss them. It'll give me more video content as well. Never feel like I'm calling you out directly. If I'm referring to a comment and maybe it was your comment, it's I'm just very blunt. I've learned that people take that very, like I'm supposed to sugarcoat it. I just don't know how. I don't like sugarcoating it because I already struggle with words. So it takes more time to sugarcoat it. So anyway, thanks for listening, y'all. I hope you enjoy these videos, and we're going to have some good videos. We're still kind of laying the foundation work, so we're going to have some good videos for that this week. I'm going to try to do it this daily. We'll see how that goes. And then come August, I'll get back into my streaming. I was streaming like every day on TikTok and every other day on Twitch. And then trying to integrate YouTube was kind of difficult, and my health and everything is difficult. So I'm kind of like taking a few off my plate, like I said, focusing on Twitch and TikTok, or YouTube and TikTok, and then integrate Twitch and live streaming on TikTok in August again. So, because hopefully by then my health will be off the plate, so I could trade focusing on my health for focusing on that. So things will be good, but expect that and just daily videos. So thanks for following my shenanigans, and once again being respectful. I appreciate it a lot because there's a lot of trolls on here and they're so fucking annoying. But anyway, I love y'all. This hurts my finger a little bit, but it makes me look like I'm a thug. Anyway, sorry. I don't know if that's offensive. Anyway, but yeah, you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good night. I hope you have a good Monday. I'll be posting a video on Monday. It might be a car vlog. The last time I posted my video for the hour-long one, just sitting there, my car, it had like so much condensation built up from sitting there for so long, so I don't want to sit there that long again, like every day. So we might do a car vlog tomorrow. So oh, big stretch. Look at this little princess. Look at this princess boy. I love how delicate he looks on this beautiful pink comforter. By the way, duvets are where it's at. I used to think those were too fancy for little foot, but it's like a sheet for your comforter, so you don't have to wash your comforter as much. I'm learning the adult ways. I grew up in foster care, okay? So if that's like a given, like if you already knew that, don't judge me. I've had to raise myself. All right. Okay. Anyway, I love you guys. Hydrate, eat. I'll be on tomorrow for a video. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll find a place to eat tomorrow. I need to do my birthday activities today. And so maybe tomorrow I'll do something to eat. I don't know. Anyway, thanks again, y'all, for listening. I'm just saying random shit. But this is kind of what I do in my head. I sit here and stare at this wall, this beautiful wall, and just think about everything. I kind of like think about, you want to see what my planner looks like? I think about what I have to do. You want to see what that is? That's the shit. Anyway, so I'm going to go do that stuff. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for listening to my shenanigans. Hopefully it all makes sense. If not, let me know. All right, bye.